Life can be really difficult. And it is interesting how this planet is built in a way where you are going to fail for the most part, and like success is going to be something that is going to be very rare. But it's also like, in my opinion, that just makes the idea of success so much more appealing, and it just kind of makes this chase and this pursuit of success so much more interesting. Because like, imagine you applying for a job, and you have applied for a job a few times before, and you failed every single time, and you apply once again, not really expecting all that much, but then all of a sudden you finish the interviews and they feel like they went fine, and then after a week they call you and you got the job and everything is fine and you finally did it. And like, this feeling that you get at the moment where you actually finally succeed is just like pure bliss. But the problem with that is you are going to get used to it. And then after a few years, or maybe after a few months, you are once again going to start looking for something else. And you are once again going to start looking for something else to chase, and like a different job and a better job and more money and more this and more that. So I feel like it's actually the chase that you're looking for, and it's actually you pursuing something that is meaningful, that is going to give you meaning. And I mean, having results is amazing and you should 100% aim for getting results, but it's also, you just kind of have to enjoy the process. And also, like, a lot of people fail when it comes to actually dealing with failure, and I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people stop. And I used to be one of these people as well. Like, I would not tolerate failure well at all. I would just crash out. I would sit at home for weeks, just like dwell on this idea of me not succeeding. But then eventually I grew up and I started thinking about these things a little bit differently. So for an example, nowadays, still like 90% of all the things that I do never really work out. But I just kind of made failing my hobby. And this is kind of like the mentality that has helped me a lot. So like, I expect failure. I welcome failure at this point. I almost challenge failure to come my way. And the more I'm going to fail, in my mind, the more I'm just going to try, and the more I'm going to do it again and again. And I do not give a fuck if I'm going to fail once. I do not give a fuck if I'm going to fail 50 times. If deep down I'm going to feel like this is the thing that I want to do, for me, it's more about the process and it's more about the chase and more about the hunt at this point. So like, I'm okay with failing. Like, do I want to win? Yes, miserably. Like, I constantly want to do well with the things that I do, but well, failing is just a part of the process. So like, just make failing your hobby. On top of it, keep in mind that you can't really expect to be good when you're starting something new. So failure is going to be a very, very big part of anything that you're going to start from scratch. So I just work with it, learn from your mistakes, improve over time, and actually focus more on the process and on like the kind of like pursuit of it, and focus more on like learning new things and like actually like having a good time with this process of improving. And then, well, if you're going to fail, you're going to fail. At least you tried, and at least you knew that, well, I gave it my all. And then if you don't fail, in the off chance that you actually succeed, once again, you're going to achieve this feeling that is going to be pure bliss. Once again, you're going to achieve this feeling of your first promotion where you're just like fucking happy and like so chill and everything is great for a period of time. So yeah, this is my mentality when it comes to these kind of things. I don't necessarily feel like failure is a bad thing. And yes, life is hard, but you have to be a little bit harder than life in a completely non-sexual way. I don't mean in a way where you're sitting in bed watching a certain type of material on your phone. I mean in a personality and growth wise. So you need to just harden yourself as a human being, invite failure, and just improve, do better. I am so tired, but in like a good way, if it makes sense. Kinda in a way where like, I am tired, I am exhausted because I have a lot of stuff that I need to do on a daily basis, but it almost feels like a blessing. And it kind of feels like everything is going the way that I want it to go. And I mean, obviously, not everything is going exactly the way that I want it to go. Like, I still have difficulties, and there are still things that stress me out. And there are still quite a lot of challenges that I deal with, both with dieting, both with exercising, also with like my job and like the office environment and everything. But somehow it feels like it's good. Somehow it feels like I am doing the stuff that I should be doing, if it makes sense. And also on top of it, I kind of sometimes have to remind myself how much of a blessing is it that I'm able to do the stuff that I'm doing at the level in which I'm doing it. Because like I remember the younger me would have been like so fucking happy if he would see what is it that I'm doing nowadays, how is it that I look, where is it that I live, what kind of resources do I have to pursue the things that I'm pursuing. So like you tend to forget these kind of things because people are very ungrateful by nature, and you get used to everything and you forget where is it that you come from, and like everything that you've done during your lifetime, like all the progress you've made, like the progress mostly is there if you're pursuing something, and if you are actually kind of going towards something and you are trying to improve some kind of an aspect of your life, if you'll do it for long enough, it is going to improve. So yeah, sometimes I need to kind of remind myself where is it that I come from and how unrealistic was it that I would be in the position in which I am now. And even if I feel like nowadays that not everything is going exactly the way that I want it to go, in reality, I've already done much more than I ever thought that I will. So that is kind of something that I try to remind myself from time to time to keep myself grounded and to realize where is it that I actually am. But yeah, I am tired but happy. Today was nice, and I feel like a big part of it is the fact that I'm consuming caffeine once again, because like I do need caffeine at this stage of the diet, and not having anything to stimulate you at this stage of the diet is just kind of ridiculous. It doesn't really make sense, because like sure, you can argue for like the fact that oh, you don't need external stimulus, like you should just be okay with like consuming water and eating food. But well, the problem is I don't eat that much food, so there is no energy. So for me to keep on going down in weight but also have the energy to like fucking exist, I do need something external to keep me energized, and in my case it is caffeine. So yeah, now when I'm implementing caffeine once again, I feel like I'm probably going a little bit too quick because I'm going a little bit faster than I thought that I will. For example, today I've consumed 2 cups of coffee and an energy drink, which for the old regimen that I had doesn't seem that much, but that is quick because I was planning to stick to like a energy drink a day for now. So I need to kind of manage this in a way where I get to use caffeine for the rest of the cut, because I am not doing another caffeine cleanse during this cut because that was absolute hell. Like the first and the second day of the caffeine cleanse was actually as close to hell as I've felt ever, like to be completely honest, because like yeah, like nothing seemed to be good during those 2 days. So not doing that again during the cut, but then once I'm going to start eating food again, and once I'm going to get back into like a normal proper caloric intake, then I'm probably going to do another caffeine cleanse and try to like slow down on the caffeine once again. But for now, we are 100% drinking caffeine, because no way in fuck I'm gonna go through the fucking pain of like not having caffeine in my system again during the cut. And also on top of it, just like the hunger gets like really crazy when you're not consuming caffeine, because the caffeine has like a very clear hunger dulling effect on me. But yeah, other than that, the day was actually surprisingly good. I'm quite happy with how everything is going so far. Quite happy with my weight. Probably the weight is going to go down tomorrow once again. Happy with my physique, which is actually the biggest one, because you shouldn't really always follow the weight. Just like by looking at the numbers, you should also look at how is it that you actually look. And I feel like the way that you look is probably going to be the biggest factor, because that is ultimately what is it that you're striving for. You're not striving for a number, you're striving for a look. So yeah, so far so good. I am pretty much done with the day, so I'm gonna do some chores, I'm gonna watch a little bit of TV, and I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow.